The All-Star game for the Major League of Lacrosse that is being played on June 13th right here at BBVA Compass Stadium, home of the MLS Dynamo and the Women's Dash team. Also that weekend, there's going to be a youth invitational tournament on June 12th to the 14th called the Casey Powell All-Star Shootout Tournament. We'll also talk about that today. The reason why we're here and the reason why we think that we need to bring the Major League Lacrosse to Houston is because of the power of example. What I mean by that is that when I grew up in Houston, there was one guy who graduated from my high school and walked on to a prestigious lacrosse program at a college up north. He came back with a couple of sticks and taught us kids for one day how to play, and it set a fire in me for the sport. I'm still here working for it because of that one day. So we're looking for opportunities where we can help catalyze sports growth among kids and cities where there's already the talent and the love and the passion and the infrastructure to do so. So Houston is on fire for lacrosse. There is more grassroots, club, youth, young interest in the sport than one would even know, because it's fairly out of the everyday eye. So we're here today to try to change that. The other side of the spectrum in terms of how a sport gets going is not only when a youngster sees a better athlete playing and gets an idol and wants to imitate them, but it's also from the parents' perspective. You see what your kids are into, you see what they're passionate about, and then you mobilize. And the community in Houston has been all over Houston. I have to look at a list because there's so many of them, but there are so many communities in the greater Houston area that have gotten into lacrosse and have started their clubs. So beyond private school programs and collegiate club programs, there are so many youth programs, between Houston, Youth Lacrosse, Woodlands, Cypress, Katy, Friendswood, Kingwood. I mean, I'm sorry to read from the list, but Siena, Clear Lake, there's just so many that it's like impossible to remember them all. So we're here to get the word out for this game, because if we bring the Major League of Lacrosse to Houston, we'll bring the top level of this sport here, and it's a trickle-down effect where we'll all have better idols to know how to play the sport better. Our colleges will want to fund varsity programs because the high school athletes that love the sport will want to go to the schools that have better programs. And perhaps district, Houston ISD programs might want to have boys and girls teams so that they become more household sports. We would not be able to bring this all-star game here without the help of Houston corporations. Houston Methodist is helping keep our players safe, taking care of our players, excuse me. No one can keep players safe in the game of lacrosse. We have Ralph O'Connor, a longtime advocate of the sport, helping us out with thoughtful foods. We have Hilton Americas just down the road accommodating our players and our fans. We have state organizations that have been really helpful. We would not be here today, we would not have a relationship with this BBVA Compass Stadium without the help of Harris County, Houston Sport Authority, and the Office of the Mayor. So without further ado, I want to introduce our Mayor, Anise Parker, who is a great advocate and has a great reputation for being supportive of sports development in our city. Mayor Parker.
Thank you, and I want to thank Commissioner Gross and Major League of Lacrosse for awarding Houston the 2015 All-Star Game. Now, the City of Houston is approaching this as we do any big league all-star sporting event. We're also approaching it as a major entertainment event. But as was just mentioned, we see it as an opportunity to raise awareness and interest in the sport of lacrosse. Houston is increasingly on the map for a range of amateur and professional sporting events. We have the venues, we have the knowledgeable fan base, we have corporate support for all sorts of sporting events to be held in Houston. And with the Houston-Harris County Sports Authority, we have a dedicated team that works to bring the events here. But beyond knowing that it's going to be a great fan experience, and BBVA Compass Stadium is it's a wonderful place to see any kind of sporting event, whether it's Major League Soccer or whether it's rugby. I don't know what all has been held here. This is a chance to have boys and girls who are interested in lacrosse see the best in the world compete. And I'm going to invite probably the #1 lacrosse fan in Houston to come up and stand with me, and that is Houston City Council member Jerry Davis. Councilmember Davis played lacrosse, coaches lacrosse today, advocates for lacrosse, and in fact chastises me periodically when he doesn't think that the city of Houston is doing enough to make fields available for lacrosse players. And I want to give him just a moment to talk about what it means to have the professional players here so that young players can see and learn.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to thank you again, Mayor, for your support, the county and Major League Lacrosse. I started playing lacrosse here at Lamar High School back in 1989. We won the state championship, and I started my team at Westside High School, and we won the state championship in 2004. And lacrosse has grown. You mentioned from Woodlands to Katy, Sienna Plantation, down to Cypress, Cyfair. It's growing, but it's not growing fast enough. And that's why we applaud you for coming down. Our kids get to see, my son, he's in 4th grade, he's tired of seeing me talk about lacrosse. He can't see me in action because I'm too old. But it's good to have the professionals come down and do what they do, and they're experts at it. And I believe one of the #1 ways of showing someone, for allowing someone to see what they can achieve is by letting them experience it firsthand. So this is an opportunity. And we're going to commit 100% myself and my office and the lacrosse community to making sure that this is a packed house. Major companies, the parents that I've coached in the past that own companies throughout the city of Houston, we're going to be asking for the help and the support to make it so, because we need this to come back. And so I haven't seen any the excitement like this in Houston around lacrosse, I guess since it was buzz in 1980s when University of Texas played at the Astrodome. So a lot of y'all didn't know that. That was the first college lacrosse game here in the Astrodome in 1980. So, Mayor, again, thank you so much, County and Major League Lacrosse. We appreciate you.
Don't wait a second. You're in the 4th grade?
Yes.
Good Lord, you're growing big.
Thank you, Councilmember and Mayor Parker. We would not be here, like Mayor Parker said, there's a team of dedicated men and women in the Harris County Houston Sport Authority that has helped us to find the partners that we need to bring this game here. And CEO Janice Burke has been behind the scenes the entire time and is instrumental in this game being here and in our success in bringing that Major League Lacrosse to this city. So thank you, CEO.
Thank you. Well, everyone knows I love sports. I have the best job ever. I get to bring all these different kinds of sports to our city. But my favorite thing is involving the youth. So, Councilmember Davis, can your son come up here? Because he's going to take my spot someday. So you're going to sit right here, because someday you're going to be running the sports authority. Kids like this, right? So you go ahead and sit up there. I'm so glad you came today. We want to thank, go ahead, sit down. We want to thank Casey Powell from Major League Lacrosse. He was the 2014 MVP, and he is bringing his all-star shootout at the Highlands Field, and that's for our youth, and that's near and dear to my heart, so thank you, Casey, for doing that. And I have to tell you, from almost a couple years ago, Councilmember Davis has been saying, Janice, when are you going to bring lacrosse? You're bringing all these other sports. You're bringing rugby. You're bringing soccer. When are you bringing lacrosse? And every time I saw him, he never stopped encouraging me to get lacrosse to come to Houston. So we want to thank you, Commissioner, for having confidence in us and bringing this game. There is a lot of buzz and a lot of excitement, and we really appreciate your confidence in us. So thank you very much. And you get to stay up there, and I'm going to go sit and watch.
Thank you, Janice. The Major League of Lacrosse would not bring the All-Star game here if the commissioner did not have faith in our eyes and ears here on the ground in Houston. Thank you to Commissioner Dave Gross for having faith in us, and I just want to welcome Commissioner Gross. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Mayor Parker, thank you so much for your coming out here today to be with us and for your support for this event. Having the support of the highest member in the city is vital. Hearing the support of Councilman Davis is also very important as well for this. So we very much appreciate it. And Janice, not that for me to get up here and toot your horn for you, but I will. We deal with a lot of sports councils here across the country in the league. Anytime we go play an event, we work with them. She's very good. I hope everyone realizes and appreciates how good she is at her job. And thank you so much for your support with this event. When I was getting ready to come down today, I'm on the plane, and I was sitting next to a local from Houston. And I'm not a shy person, so we start chatting. And we talk about lacrosse, and I'm coming in for the All-Star game, and the person doesn't really know much about lacrosse. And I ask him, well, what are you into? He says, rodeo. I like rodeo. Everyone in Houston likes rodeo. That's what we're about. I'm like, okay. Do you like Tex-Mex food? And he looks at me like I'm a little strange. He's like, I'm from Houston. Everyone in Houston likes Tex-Mex food. We grow up eating Tex-Mex food. Have you ever tried sushi? Oh, I love sushi. Oh, it was weird because when I first had sushi, I was looking like, I didn't know what it was. It wasn't Tex-Mex, it wasn't, steak, but I looked at it like, I tried it. I was glad I experimented because it's great, and I now love sushi. So I said, good, we're sushi. You haven't tried us yet. But when you do, you are going to love it. We have, and with all deference to rodeo and any other sport, lacrosse is the greatest sport in the world, and I say that with confidence. We have everything a sports fan likes. Our games are high scoring. They are fast paced. They are full of action. There is never a dull moment. The only people who do not like our games are the concessionaires, because the fans don't get out of their seats. They don't want to miss anything. Besides that, everyone likes it. Though, actually, I've had one fan in the 14 years of this league that told me after a game he did not enjoy his experience. I said, what didn't you like about it? He goes, there's just too much action. I'm like, all right, well, you're our poster boy of what we're about. This game, it's great. And it is growing leaps and bounds all across the country. And it's growing here in Houston. Back in 2010, we had a group approach us about bringing a team to Houston. and we said the market wasn't ready yet. Give it more time, it's got to keep growing at the youth level. In just those 5 years, we've seen that growth. And that growth is what said to us, now let's dip our toe. We're not coming here just to do an all-star game. There's a lot of cities in this country. We're coming here to test Houston as a market for hopefully an expansion team. Because we believe in this area, we're seeing the growth, not just of the youth level, but of people in this area being open to new and exciting things. That appeals to us. We see that there's corporate support in the area. All those things are important to having a team in a market. We're excited. This is a big test for the league. This is only our second time ever coming to the Lone Star State, our first time coming to Houston, but we believe in this, and we hope this is the first of a very long-term relationship with the city of Houston. So while everyone's been thanking us for bringing the game here, we're here to say thank you for letting us bring this game. We're very excited for it, and we can't wait to see everybody on June 13th.
Thank you, Commissioner Gross. So at the heart of everything that we're talking about a sport. We're talking about a game, and the love of the game has to come before all of the other work that we're doing. Among players in this game, in the history of this game, this is speaking from a player's perspective. I've played high school, college, and internationally. The next gentleman that I'm going to introduce might actually be one of the best players of all time, if not. I'll just say one of, because he's a humble guy too. But not many people can say that they were National Player of the Year in college. Not once, not twice. Not many people get to play for our national team. Not many people get to excel for over a decade in the major leagues. Only one person ever actually has been the National Player of the Year, in multiple positions. That's almost impossible when you think about it. To be a specialist at the highest level of collegiate sports in Division I, and to be picked as the top of your class, top of the country, in 2 different positions, it's incredible. Anyway, Casey Powell was in the Major League of Lacrosse the first year that it was played. He was on the championship team. He led the Long Island Lizards to the championship in 2000. In 2014, he was the MVP of the league, in his prime now. More importantly, actually, than his playing accolades, Casey is really active in bringing the sport back down to our youth and teaching and inspiring. So he's been playing a pivotal role in the Casey Powell All-Star Shootout the same weekend as the All-Star Game, June 12th to the 14th. Introduce to you, Casey Powell.
I always feel more comfortable with a stick in my hands. First of all, I've got to say, looking at Jerry Davis, when I play a lacrosse game, I always size up my opponent. I'm glad you don't play anymore. It's really exciting for me. I've spent my career, I started when the league started in 2000, and I remember being a rookie and seeing some older guys on the team, and I'm like, what is that guy doing still playing lacrosse? And here I am now, the older guy, and the rookies come in and call me Mr. Powell, and I'm like, hey, it's Casey, call me Casey, it makes me feel younger. So, but it's great to be here. We're really excited. I'm speaking on behalf of the players. The players are really excited. We love playing in front of new audiences, and I can't tell you how pumped up we are to be coming here this summer. I certainly haven't solidified my spot on the All-Star team for the upcoming season, but I'll be here because of the shootout. We are running the CP Shootout. It's going to be a great jamboree-style festival. The players are going to be intertwined, walking around throughout the day, so they'll be very accessible. We're going to hold the draft, the All-Star Draft, where they split up the teams on Friday night before the game, and the kids will have a big interaction with that experience. I'm bringing in teams from Florida, my brother's bringing in some teams from New York, there's teams from Oregon, so there's going to be some competition from out of state that are going to be coming in, and we're excited to see what we got against the young players and the youth players of Texas. So really excited to be a part of this. It's a lot of fun. The game is growing, as Coach Gross, Mr. Gross said. You know, this is the best sport, and I've played them all. I played football, I played basketball, and this is a combination of all of them. And I'd like to thank the media for being here and supporting this. I'd like to thank Mayor Parker, and we're really excited. Janice, thank you for being part of this. But look forward to being having a great time this summer, and we're as part of LB3 Lacrosse running the shootout. Over the next couple months, we're going to be coming down here to try to pump up the event from a player standpoint and visit some schools and visit some youth organizations to make sure we hit a home run down here. But thanks for having us, and excited for the All-Star Weekend. Thanks.
Just want to thank everyone for coming today. Thank you very much for coming, Mayor Parker. Thank you for the media for coming, and now we're going to take time for one-on-ones and photos. Thank you.